What's up, guys? UFC 320 is upon us. We have Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev 2. A lot of good fights on here, and I want to give you my quick picks. So, without further ado, let's bust it wide open. First fight is going to be Veronica Hardy versus Brogan Walker. I'm going to take Veronica Hardy. I'm not high on either one of these girls, but I think that Hardy is the more improved fighter. And as long as she's not getting held up against the fence the whole time, and she could keep her back off the fence, I think she wins this fight pretty easily. But at minus 600, I wouldn't be betting it. Ramiz Brahima versus Austin Vanderford. I'm actually going to take the underdog here. I think Brahima is a guy that I've had trouble capping his whole career. When I pick against him, he wins. And when I pick him to win, he loses. But this time I feel more confident that he's going to get it done because I feel like this is one of his worst opponents. Austin Vanderford is good. He's a great wrestler, but he's not dangerous. And if you look at what they've done lately, Brahima is the more dangerous fighter. And at these odds, I think he's like plus 200. I got to go with the more dangerous guy. So I can't believe I'm doing it, but yeah, I'm confidently going to say that he's getting it done here, to be honest. And I think he'll finish him. I can see him getting a submission. I think that Vanderford will look to pressure, put him down, put him down. He will get the takedowns, but when he's on the ground with Brahima, I think Brahima is the one that's going to be more dangerous down there. Punahele Soriano versus Nikolai Vertinikov. Vertinikov is not great in my opinion. I don't understand where the hype comes from because he's done absolutely nothing in the UFC. He barely beat Prado, and Prado should be two weight classes below him. I think that Soriano can out wrestle him, will have more pressure, and I think he can put him on his ass and put him out. So I think Soriano's going to knock him out. Patchy Mix versus Jacob Villux. Uh, Villux is going to give Patchy Mix something he's never seen before. And I think it'll take Mix a couple minutes to figure it out. But once he does, he should run to a pretty clean decision. I will take Mix here, despite his past performance not being so great. I think he's gonna get over those jitters and he's got a better matchup here, and he should win this. Macy Chasson versus Yana Santos. Yeah, Macy Chasson should run through her. She's actually going to be bigger than her, which you don't see a lot with Yana Santos's fights. Um, yeah, she's just younger. She's more aggressive. She's going to have actually probably have a bit of a size advantage. Let me see here. Oh yeah, absolutely. She's 4 inches taller. She's got way more reach. And Yana Santos only really wins by having a size advantage most of the time. She's not really great anywhere. Chesson, if Chesson can't win this, it's time to let her go because she has flopped before, and this is a totally winnable fight for her. I think you take Chesson, and at minus 225, I think you play her. Daniel Santos versus Ju Sang Yu. Um, this one I went back and forth on, but I had to ultimately settle with Daniel Santos because I haven't seen enough from Ju Sang Yu. Ju Sang Yu had a really badass knockout in his last fight, but he's not really a knockout guy. He's got a lot of decisions on there. And Santos, I feel like, probably got just as much power. Gonna have good striking. Gonna be better on the ground. And I don't know how Ju Sang Yu is gonna do with the pressure. If Ju Sang Yu can get through Santos, who, by the way, I mean, isn't a world beater at all, I just feel like he's his best competition yet. And until I see him beat a guy like this, I'm not on the train yet. So I will go with Santos. But I understand if you're playing you as a dog here. I did consider it, but with more consideration, I went the other way. Fareed Basharat versus Chris Gutierrez. Gutierrez, he can be hard to put away sometimes. So I don't know if he's going to get stopped here, but I think Fareed Basharat should be able to beat Chris Gutierrez because Gutierrez isn't going to knock out Fareed Basharat. If he could, then you have a better fight on your hands, and you can make a better case for Chris Gutierrez. But he's not a slugger, man. I just think he gets wins by his work rate, and Basharat's no slouch there. So I'm gonna go with Fareed Basharat. But I'm not betting this guy because he screwed me his last 2 fights. So I wouldn't bet this at all. I don't care if how good the odds are. I just can't trust this guy. But I do feel like if I have to pick, I'm going to go with him here for sure. Just not with my money. Edmund Shabazian versus Andre Muniz. what can he say? It's Edmund Shabazian. He's going to go in there. He's going to give everything he's got in the first round and a half. And then if he hasn't finished his opponent, he's going to end up on the ground. He's going to end up slipping up and he's going to get submitted. I feel like that happens a lot. And I feel like that's very liable to happen here. But I think he's got an opponent that he will be able to put away early. And so I'm going to go with Shabazian. Atiba Gutierrez versus I don't even know how to say this guy. They just put this guy in. He's never been to the UFC before. Tristan Vines. Looks kind of like a can, which is all that Gutierrez ever going to fight, at least for the foreseeable future. Uh, yeah, this guy's going in there and getting knocked out. Way too short notice. He's been knocked out and KO'd by punches a few times already. I think they're putting him in there to take an L. So yeah, it'll be another win for Gutierrez. And he is. Oh, they don't have the odds for this, but I'm assuming he's a big favorite. So bet the knockout or don't bet it. Joe Pyfer versus Abus Magomedov. Joe Pyfer should get it done, man. Both these guys are front runners. They're really, they're throwing with a lot of power, doing a whole lot of stuff in the early part of the fight. But both of them don't have a lot of cardio. They tend to fade later. Fortunately, I think that Abus is a little bit worse than Joe Pyfer. So fortunately for Pyfer, I do think he could stop Abus. And I think he's going to get a knockout. So I will go Pyfer here, and I'm confident in that. And at minus 220, I would play it. Then we have Josh Emmett, my man Josh Emmett. You guys know I like Josh Emmett. Come forward guy, hits hard, always fun to watch. And if you're not running from him, he's always going to put on an exciting fight. That being said, I do think that Yusuf Zalal, his opponent, is going to run from him, and I think he's going to be pretty successful at it. We saw him doing that with Kattar, and if he fights a game plan like that, he's going to be able to stay out of the way of Josh Emmett, who really just throws a lot of haymakers. You got to mix it up more if you want to catch Zalal. And we saw Emmett had trouble catching Murphy when Murphy kind of ran from him in their last fight. I do like Josh Emmett by KO. I think it's a pretty good plus money prop here. I don't have the actual number right now, but it's well over. I would imagine it's well over plus 500. Plus, I like a bet on Emmett if you're going for the knockout. I just don't think it's that likely. I think that Zalal should be able to stay away from the power hand, just like he did with Kattar, and just like Murphy was able to do with Emmett. So yeah, I'm gonna take Yusuf Zalal here. Then we have Yuri Prochazka versus Khalil Rountree. I do think that Khalil Rountree has gotten better, and I do think that some of his step up in competition with Alex Pereira made him even better. Uh, but he's a guy that does good against fighters that stand in front of you. And Yuri Prochazka isn't that fighter. Yuri Prochazka hits just as hard, is going to be a little bit more dynamic, has probably the better wrestling if he needs it. And I still think that Prochazka's in his prime. He's the younger fighter. He's also going to have more reach. He's going to be taller as well. I don't think that Rountree can hurt Prochazka. I think that Prochazka can hurt Rountree, and it's a lot more likely that he does. I'm going to take Prochazka, and I think he's going to get a KO. I do see some body shots landing. Rountree, I mean, what's his best win? Dustin Jacoby? And to be honest, he lost that fight. That was a robbery. Uh, yeah, he hasn't beat anybody on Yuri Prochazka's level. So I got to go with Prochazka here. And I think he's worth a parlay piece without a doubt. Then we have Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. I want to tell anybody that will listen. Corey Sandhagen is one of Merab's biggest tests. I think he's a bigger test than O'Malley was. Because Sandhagen is just as dynamic of a striker as O'Malley. But he throws more knees, more kicks, and, is a little more unorthodox. And that's really good when you're fighting a guy like Merab, when you kind of know what he's going to do. It gives you the opportunity to set up those unorthodox shots a lot easier. And I believe that Sandhagen has a little bit better grappling and wrestling. And still poses that same threat. Well, he still has that length. I don't understand why people are sleeping on Sandhagen here. I really do think this is a winnable fight for him. All that being said, though, I can't count out Barab. Barab's done so much. The guy's so good. Uh, I think it would be stupid not to pick him here. But if anybody could beat Barab Dvalishvili, it is Corey Sandhagen. Uh, because of the things I just mentioned. I like the knees up the middle. I like the elbows. I like the creativity in there. But Barab is also getting better. And, I love a Corey Sandhagen play here. I just don't have the balls to do it. It's impossible to pick against Barab right now. And y'all have to excuse me. I'm sick. I've got a cold, so I know I sound kind of weird. But yeah, let's go with Dvalishvili. And then we have the main event. Excuse me. Yeah, just like I told you guys in March, actually, over a year ago, Alex Pereira is not on Magomed Ankalaev's level. Period. Uh, he might be a more powerful and slightly better striker. I understand he's a kickboxer, but kickboxing is not real fighting. Magomed Ankalaev is a great striker. I told you guys that. He never needed to wrestle. He outstruck Pereira. He'll do it again. He's better everywhere. And he puts everything together so much better. And a lot of people, I keep seeing this, they're bringing up, oh, well, he didn't get all the takedowns. Guys, he didn't want all the takedowns. The fact that Americans and Westerners and just these casuals don't understand that if you think he wanted all those takedowns, you're exactly why we can't beat these guys. Because we don't even understand their game plan. He uses those to put Alex in positions, to threaten, to set up the hands. A lot of those takedowns were never meant to be completed. Some of them were, sure, and Alex did a great job. But if that's what you're walking away from the entire fight, if that's the one good thing you took out of it, you're in trouble. Alex is in trouble. And I see people bringing up the age. He hasn't aged that much. It hasn't even been a year, guys. So I just see a lot of excuse making. And Alex Pereira is one of the guys who's doing a lot of the excuse making. I'm excited to see what his excuse is going to be this time because I do believe that Magomed Ankalaev is going to beat him again, like I told you guys over a year ago. I also told you that I don't believe that Alex Pereira will ever win another UFC fight because he's too busy clout chasing. He is getting older, and he had some opponents that were kind of tailor made to his style. Magomed Ankalaev is not that guy. Can Alex Pereira knock out Magomed Ankalaev? Yeah, he can knock out anyone. And if Magomed isn't careful, that shot is going to be there. But Alex Pereira can also get knocked out by Magomed, who has good kicks, good striking, good counter punching, and will use his wrestling to to set up those punches. Alex Pereira looked, in a lot of people's opinions, not mine, because I'm intelligent, but a lot of people were like, oh, well, he wasn't the same guy. It was the same guy. He looked the way he looked because Magomed made his bitch ass look like that. Period. Now, I could say that, of course, he'd kill me, but in that cage, he's the bitch. Magomed Ankalaev would snatch his chain, would fuck his bitch, would beat the living hell out of him any day of the week. He has nothing for him, and that's just the facts. The Poetars can get mad all they want. Alex Pereira is not good enough to beat Magomed Ankalaev. And he knows that. That's why he avoided that fight for months. And that's why he tried to fight him on Ramadan, but it didn't quite work out the way he wanted. That's why his coach, Glover Teixeira, also avoided Magomed. And that's why Alex Pereira is so angry about this loss and making up all these excuses and even said he wouldn't have a trilogy fight. This is the mentality of a weak man. He knows he's beat. He knew he was beat before he stepped in there. All bias aside, because honestly, that's what a lot of this is right now. Magomed Ankalaev is just the better fighter. He can fight anywhere he wants, and I do believe he will get some of those takedowns this time if he needs them. But ultimately, my prediction is Magomed Ankalaev KOs Alex Pereira inside of 3. I said he would KO him last time, and he almost did it inside of 3. This time, I think he gets it done. Alex doesn't have a granite chin, and Magomed does have power. I think the first round will probably look a little more rough this time for Magomed than it did last time because I do think that Alex Pereira is going to come out there a little bit more aggressive. And that's what he needs. But if he gets too aggressive, the game plan for Magomed could switch up anytime, and the counterpunching was going to be there. Yeah, I think we're going to get a worse version of Pereira, and I think we're going to get a better version of Magomed Ankalaev, and I do think I'll finally get that KO. Um, and I will extend the vacation that I've had since the last fight. I won enough money to where basically been on a permanent vacation, and I will be extending it. I just wish that all the people who are so high in Pereira were actually putting their money where their mouth is, and they're not. Why are these odds like this? Why is it Magomed an underdog again, since everybody's so sure he's going to lose? Because they know in their mind, in their heart, that that's not true. I'm confidently predicting that Magomed Ankalaev will beat Alex Pereira, and pretty confident he will get a stoppage this time. So those are my picks, guys. Appreciate the love, appreciate the hate, appreciate the discourse. At the end of the day, it's all love. It's not me in the cage. It's what we do for. This is what we do for fun. This is our sport. So whoever you have, I appreciate you just being here, just listening. And so let me know down who you have down below. And yeah, let's watch these fights, man. Let's enjoy these fights. And until I see you next time, let's get paid, y'all. Peace.